Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Hamlet for the next episode, number 31, and literally we're in the same month. We haven't really moved on. All I've done is gathered up the products to go and sell them before we move forward, and we're going to get stuck into our winter sowing. So I did do cultivation and spread manure on the fields. I did buy it. We didn't have enough ourselves, so we're just going to sell this. Another thing I did do, I removed the small market, little market. Little market, that's the one. I removed the little market selling point because the milk is selling okay now at the co-op, and that was the main reason we put it down. Anyway, very welcome back to the Hamlet. We're progressing on, as you can see. We done quite a few contracts. We're up to 72,000. We're going to boost our money now a little bit. Reckon probably about 2,000-3,000 when we sell this stuff. I didn't actually mean to pick up a non-full pallet of eggs, but I drove around the back of the shed and I hadn't checked to see where they fall, and of course I loaded on the wool belt, and of course the bale of eggs came out through the wall. So there you go. That's why we ended up with one section out of the 8 missing. Anyway, yeah, the Hamlet is going pretty good. We're expanding. We're making good progress. And I have to say, we're starting to push ahead now. Resisting the temptation to buy any fields with crops in them, which I've done all along. I think I only bought one field with a crop in it. Wasn't that it? I think other than that, we've actually let's see, everything gone. Oh, 8,500. There you go. Underestimated that, didn't I? So there's over 9,000 we got on that. That's pretty decent. Now, have we anything else left with the milk? I didn't recheck the milk. Like, we do have our Spelt to get rid of later in the year. That's gone in January. We've loads of straw. We're not going to need all that. We could sell quite a bit if we wanted to. The wheat as well will go in January. Rye, we're not doing too bad with that. If you look at the difference in price, I think we'd be better off, like, we sell the Spelt and the wheat. We'll keep the rye for feeding our chickens. The oat will have to be sold as well because you can't feed it to the chickens unless I put a mod in, which I'm not going to. No, I did get rid of the milk. Yeah, couldn't remember. And I got rid of the other eggs. I did, yeah. We've canola to sell as well. So we've a fair bit of products that we can shift at the end of the year and get going. So I'm going to get this back to the yard. Yeah, I did get it back to the yard, and then I'll move on to September the 1st, where we're going to get our fields sown. I'm still on two minds now about what to do next. You know, I'm kind of thinking, I'm going to just go in briefly. Like pig farm, 41,000, we could well afford that. Or do we try and get, where's our farm? That's our farm, isn't it? That's our farm. The Meadow. Where's the Meadow? No, I'm in the wrong place. Oh yeah, I have a tractor down at the thing. Do we try and buy number 10? It's 104. I'd like to do that and move the Highland cattle out there, the beef cattle out there. You know, that's always the goal. So will we abstain from buying another field? Like, I mean, we could buy this one now for 23, no problem, and the pig farm. But will we abstain and work on our beef cattle? I suppose that was always kind of the intention. When the beef cattle mature and they have offspring, which is, we'll just check on this now. Beef cattle, 2-3 months, not too sure. When they have their offspring, they're only going to have 13 or 12. Sorry, looking at 13 months. They're only going to have 12. So we'll take the 12. We'll sell the elders. We move the 12 babies into the Meadow and probably add another 12 with them. So we've 24 at 0 months, and then they'll multiply with 24 again. I'd like to build it that we have. I don't know. I can't remember the exact number of that pen holes because I know I did look on the test map to see, but it was so long ago since we started this series. I just can't remember how many holes. But what I tend to do is to try and have half the pen full of 0-month-old calves, and then when they mature, the new calves are born, and then we sell the beef cattle the same way a normal farm would do, and we start the cycle all over again. That's kind of the intentions moving forward. I kind of, in a way, I'm anxious to get the pigs going, but I did say we don't have the right crops for them, so we're not going to do that just yet. Anyway, let me check everything over here. They're okay for food and all there. I want to check just before I move forward. I want to make sure the hens are okay. I don't want to leave animals with no food. Okay, right. Let's I'm not going to run up to the house. We'll just do the sleep anywhere. And let's see how we get on. Here we go. It'll come up, excess animals sold, 385 I think it is, or something like that. It's the baby chickens all gone. Loan interest. Payment scheme. Okay, what we get paid for? Excess animals 275 or 375. Tax, we paid our tax. Okay. Forgot about the tax. I always forget about the tax, so thankfully I didn't spend the money. Right, let's go in and see what we got paid for, because we got paid for something in the red tape scheme. Event logs. Payment, scheme payout. Natural fertilizer. Okay, for using our manure. That was August. We got hit for our crop rotation, which is why we're going to make sure when we're doing the fields this time that we don't re-sow the same crops in them again. So I'll have to keep an eye on this. The two fields that we have that aren't showing up, most recent peas, farmland 68. Did we sow peas? That's an anomaly to me. Maybe. Farmland number 68. Yeah. We did. We bought it, but it's still showing up where crops were in it before. That's the one we have our oats in. Okay. Right, let me check over everything and I'll bring it back when I see what we're sowing, where we're sowing it and what we're doing, and I'll give you an update then. Okay, we're off and running getting our crops in. So we have barley going in here. Field number 6. Do we still have field number 6? Field number 6 was that field. That's gone. Okay. 22 we don't have showing up, and 18. So I had field number 6 down for wheat. So what we'll do is we'll put wheat in 22. I'm going to write this down or I forget. I've done my crop rotation. We've rye gone into 11 and we have canola going into 12. So kind of the same crops again. I don't know whether, maybe I might change the canola for something different, another oil-based crop that we sell the seed off again, because that's all we're doing. We're not producing canola oil or anything like that. Let's see. What other crops do we have? You know what, I'll have a look. I'm actually thinking I should be putting a root crop into one of the fields for the pig farm. But what I'm actually thinking is that's so far off. I'm actually thinking I'll probably end up buying a field before then, along with the pasture here beside us. So next thing is the pasture, then another field. Doesn't have to be a big field for carrots or potatoes for the root crop for the pigs, just so we have feed for them. So you kind of get the plan. The plan is next field is the meadow for the beef cattle. Then after that, we're going for the pig farm and a field a field to get the crop in for the pigs, and then the pig farm in that order. And then we can use one of the grains then to feed the pigs as well. So we be happy enough to get going with the pigs then once we have the food in place. So, I just checked on the crop rotation and that just to make sure that we were okay. So that's sorted. The only field I haven't picked one for is the field up the end here where the buckwheat was. But there again, we put something in there that we can feed the chickens with. I don't know which yields the best. I suppose the Spelt seems to have yielded really well, so maybe we could put Spelt up there just purely as chicken feed. Don't go into the field. That's gas the way that happened. Like, we weren't in the field, it was on this field, and then it changes. We'll be okay now once the first headland's done, we won't have to venture over. Anyway, that's kind of the plan, is to get the 5 or 6 fields we have in total, to get the fields sown in this month, and in general just take care of everything else we need to take care of, which isn't a lot really. Of course, we'll keep an eye out for contracts too. That's our bread and butter, why wouldn't we? And our grass field's going to be ready next month, but that might not be in this episode. Going forward, contracts, let's see. Yeah, there's contracts there already. Harvesting potatoes. That won't happen, as you know. Sowing, canola, mowing, the two of them. Yeah, these are going to be knocked out anyway. Hoeing, we still have the hoe. So we have 6 contracts there that we're going to be doing when we get all our own fields sown. So the money will keep flowing. And that's what we want. So we can get 104. Have about 20,000, maybe 30,000 over that before we buy that pasture in front of us. And hopefully then we can get going with our beef stock a little bit more organised, and then we have more room then for milking cows. So happy days, everything is progressing at a nice pace, not too fast, and I'm really glad I didn't do any productions on this. It's kind of like the way you'd have a real farm. The only thing you might get on a real farm is a small little farm producing its own butter and cheese, that's all. But other than that, like, they wouldn't have a bakery, they wouldn't have a press for doing canola oil and all of that. So I'm glad now, when I was talking about putting down Omatana's small production building, I'm glad now I went back and looked at my original plan and I knocked that on the head, because I kind of enjoyed the setup on this map. Anyway, let me get working through these fields. They'll all need to be rolled once they're in, and I'll update you as we work our way through them. Okay, barley done in the first field and rye going into this one. So we're working our way through them. It doesn't take long. They're small enough fields anyway. I bumped the clock up on slightly faster time just to move through the day. We got 3-day months. We don't need them. So we've rye going in here. We've canola going in the next field, I think. Field number 12 that would be. So that's canola. I didn't check the calendar yet. I'll tell you what, let's do it while we're here. We could end up now. The problem is picking crops that we can't sow because we don't have a planter. Flax, let's see, canola. What's canola worth? Yeah, flax is worth more. What else have we got? Mustard, it's worth a bit more, but go mad and put in peas. We can't do them this time of the year. Rye. Like, we're putting in rye. We could sow all Spelt and we make loads of money. Soybeans, we don't have a planter, so we can't do them. So I think we'll scratch the canola and we'll put flax in instead. Now, that's provided we can sow flax with the cedar. I can't remember. Let's see if there's more confusion. Just checking the second hand market to see if it's around there. Our Grand Plains, our Great Plains. Those flax, yeah. That's okay. Yeah, so that'll be the field just in front of us. We're going to put flax into that one. Just for something different. And then we'll have the meadow field, as I call it, the one that doesn't register. We had oats in that last year. And it's not registering on the red tape mod anyway, so it's not going to make any difference there. We're going to put wheat into that. So there you go. We're covered off. And we do have Spelt in, don't we? Do I have Spelt in? I don't. No. Oats. Okay. The Spelt going into 22 then. Okay. Grand. So we're kind of going with all the unusual crops. That suits me. Yeah. Flax in the next one, then Spelt in the last one. It's a better plan. On the last field, Spelt going in up here for the chickens. And our flax field got kicked a touch because we can't sow flax until next spring. So I was debating whether to put, I was thinking then I put grass in here and put sorghum in, but we don't have a planter. So we can't sow sorghum with the seeder. So that kind of knocked that on the head. And I went to and fro, having a look. And I just said, no, let's just go with Spelt. We'll do it to feed the chickens. And the other field, the meadow field, is Spelt as well. So we're going to have 2 fields with Spelt next year. It won't matter because it's just a crop rotation on the other ones that needs to be done. The 4 that come up in the red tape mod, there's only 4 of them show up in that. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. So we've stripy fields, as you see. It's easier when you're turning around to do every second row. Otherwise you're backing up and you're backing to and fro and to and fro. So that's what I do. It's even stripy on the map. So that is all our fields sown then. It is. Oh. You can see I've taken on the 2 contracts to be done. Once these are done, since I have the seeder on the field, we're going to run out of fertilizer again. I say again because I had to go and transport a bag down and seed to the field. They're on the international truck up in the other field. We ran out, the meadow field. There we go, we've stopped. Now, where is my truck? There it is. Is there enough yeah, there's enough fertilizer to finish it, and I left it running, wasting diesel. Okay. Did I miss a bit there? Don't think so. No. Probably missed a bit doing fertilization or something. It does leave that then. So, yeah, game plan. Gonna get the contracts done. I will have to go and get more seeds from the yard. We've no fertilizer left up there. Or we have one crate that's only a little bit in, so we'll go and buy some more fertilizer. I was thinking we're gonna need it anyway. Yeah, gonna just do these 2 contracts before I bring the seeder back, and then we'll go and get a roller and get the rolling done in our fields. Because when I don't do it straight away, I tend to forget. And then we go into the next month and it goes, sorry, needs rolling. There's nothing you can do about it until next year. As happened to us in this field up here. Or the meadow field. Because we didn't roll it last year. Totally forgot. Where are we? There we are. Couldn't see us in the shadow. Little truck comes in handy for things like this. Did I turn it off that time? Let's get off the field anyway. Yeah, we'll just drive it off the field. We're mobile. Now. Dog decided to bark at something. I don't know what. Anyway. Didn't want to lift that pallet up because then we end up with just one bale on it. Okay, let me get back to getting this finished off, and yeah, we'll do the 2 contracts, and then we'll get the roller and get the fizz fully prepped, and we'll move on to the other contracts then. See what I mean? It gives you the room to turn when you leave a line in between. Don't know backing up. Nice curve around into the next line. Okay, let me get this wrapped up and get these 2 contracts out of the way, and I'll talk to you then when we have the roller and we get started on that. Okay, just bringing you back. I finished those 2 contracts. Let's collect sowing contracts. That's grand. Now, I nearly leased the roller. We already held on to the one we leased because we knew we were going to need it. And I don't know what made me remember it. I was actually almost getting it before I got back to the yard, and then I just had a bit of a memory that, do I not have one leased? Because I knew we didn't own one. I hate when it nearly looks the exact same. It would be alright. Yeah, we got them 2 done now. I was actually thinking, looking at the contracts which were there, these 2, I was thinking of getting the Armour Salmon harvester and doing them 2 contracts and keeping the excess for the pig farm, which we could afford to buy, and we could put the root crop directly in there. But no, let's stick to the game plan. So the game plan is 104,000 for the meadow in front, because I've put that off I don't know how many times, so let's not do it again. Let's not put it off again. Otherwise we'll never get the meadow in front. Pig farm, we can tie it in with when we actually have a field ourselves, rather than just relying on the scraps that we get from the excess after the harvest is done. I suppose it's more realistic than just say, okay, trying to get the pig farm for the sake of it, because we end up with a couple of 1,000 litres of root crop from 2 harvest contracts. Now I know there's more will come up. Let's have a look and see. Well, there isn't that many more carrot contracts or root crop contracts apart from sugar beet. I think that's sugar beet in them. No, that's actually clover. That's sugar beet. Yeah. So rather than just going with a little bit of, as I said, the excess you get afterwards, let's do it right. So when you have time to kill, when you're doing contracts and doing loads of work, you start coming up with all sorts of connotations. What am I going to do next, or where are we going to go? Now, one thing I have been thinking about with this series is, what is the end goal on it? Like, where do we call it? Where do we say we've done? I've been thinking about it for a while, because there was no set goal for the ending as to what we needed to achieve for the end. It was kind of like build a farm up, buy the fields, buy the paddocks, the meadows, the whole lot, and the only additional things we've added to the map is chickens. Animal-wise, we're just using everything that's on. So with that in mind, what I've kind of decided is, when all the pens are bought, which is the meadow there and the pig farm, and they're actually full, when we have all the animals in them, we'll continue to expand grassland and stuff like that, and as needed, and fields for feed and that. But when we have all the animal enclosures and that done, then we will I've just lost my screen. Hold on 1 second, I'll be back to you. I'm back. I have PlayStation connected to the same monitor, which hasn't been turned on in months. And I turned it on this morning and just let it update. So of course what it done was, when it updated everything, it restarted. And it turned off my computer on the screen. I couldn't see. I was driving down the field and all of a sudden the screen went blank, and I left with the PS5 screen. I kind of go, what's going on here? Anyway, yeah, we're going to set that as the end goal, because the series can't go on forever and ever. It's not about owning the whole map, although that would be doable on this map without buying the forestry plots. There's no doubt about it. We could buy the fields. What we'll do field-wise, we're definitely going to buy these 7 fields. I don't really want to... What I'm kind of thinking is, if we buy these 7, the meadow is an anomaly because it's this side of the road. If we buy them 7 and then 4 up there, and then we leave the rest of them, so we've other work to do, maybe. That mightn't even go that far. Might just get the 7, and that might be it. But the goal is, right, once and for all, the goal is to have all the animal enclosures, farms, which is the only 2 we have to get, is the enclosure across the road for the beef cattle that we're going to put in there, and then the pig farm. When the animals reach maximum capacity on all of them, we'll consider the challenge done. Not that we had a challenge out, but we'll consider the series done, because it can't run on forever. Still going to take a bit of time to do that anyway, because of the way we're operating on this with no productions or anything like that. It's been a slow grind. Like, we're in year 5 now. Like, we'll be clicking over into year 6 soon enough. And like, what have we got field wise? Like, I mean, we had these 2 starting off, then we bought this one. So we bought these few along here and 1 more. So we haven't bought an awful lot of fields, because we haven't had the money to buy a lot of fields. Granted, we have the sheep farm up the other end as well. That came as part of what we were working towards. So yeah, it's been, you know what, I'm really enjoying the way this series is moving on. And to be honest, like, it's still getting good views. I think people are still engaged with it to a certain degree, and that doesn't bother me, because I'm going to keep doing this anyway until I achieve what I want to achieve. It's just one of those things now. The triple challenge, Wallace Abereska, it's dropped off completely. There's not very many people looking at the episodes and that, and that's fine. Like, we're 45 episodes in and that. And once you get near the end, it like, for me now, it's gone a little bit stale, because I'm making so much money now. I always say with Farming Simulator, when you're running kind of productions and stuff like that, you do reach that point where you just keep making money. Not so much on this one because of the way we done it, but that will come too, where you'll just start making more and more and more money. But thankfully, it's gone slowly on this. So there you go. That's the plan. I'm going to get these fields rolled, and yeah, we'll have a look and see. We'll look at the contracts there. I'm going to finish out them. Probably do most of them when the episode is over, because I'll keep an eye on the time, how long the episode is. I'm not going to extend the episode, extensive extension on the episode just to cover contracts, because we've been there before. Anyway, let me get these fields rolled, and I will talk to you then. Most likely we'll probably be in the 2nd day of September. Even with the clock running on 4, we'll probably have time left, but I'm just going to move forward into the next day anyway. All the fields are rolled, and the roller's gone back. Why am I hauling a baler? I'll tell you why. Baler we had was leased. I sent it back. This was in the second-hand market for just over 5,000, so we bought it. They're only 11 to buy or something like that new, so we did repaint it and that, just it was looking a little bit tatty. So yeah, I did say I was trying to get rid of, the only thing we have that's leased now is that what do you call it, hoe. Other than that, everything is owned. So happy days. Now I just happened to jump into the market. I was dropping back the roller, passing by. I'd finished all the fields, so I just said, right, let's drop off the roller. And yeah, lo and behold, here was John Day Baler in the market. And I said, yeah, I'll have that. Kind of be happy now to just have everything bought, not leased. Let's have a quick look. I think I put the wrong colour on the front. I did. That's not John Deere yellow. No, I put the wrong one on. I'll change it again. It was white. That's why I changed it. It was a horrible colour, and they were purple, the wheels. But I obviously clicked on the wrong yellow. Let's quickly have a look, see. Now, no, we did nothing there we need. That does potatoes, doesn't it? It does, yeah. That's an awful price. Direct drill. Too pricey. That is fertilizer for the one bag. Suppose at that price that's okay. One bag, it's okay. Now, I want a 188. I'm not buying it here. That's 188 is the tractor I first ever drove as a tractor. It was a 188 on my friend's farm. That's why the mod is loaded. They had one of them. It was the first thing I ever drove. I drove a car very briefly before, but that would have been the first vehicle I ever drove for any sort of distance whatsoever in the fields. It kind of brings back a lot of memories. So we've no contracts to collect. No, we have them all collected, yeah. Now, what have we got? Carrots, parcels, and yeah, I'm really tempted to get the arbor salmon and do all these contracts because they're worth a bit of money with the excess you get. And I know everything's just going to be delivered to the one place. Deliver 80,000. I'm trying to think of many trips we need to make. Now, the furthest one away from the delivery point is that one. It's not that far. So we're going to do the cultivation ones anyway. We have our new cultivator. We're going to do the mowing. We have our mower. We have a hoe. And we have a fertilizer spreader. So I'm going to still sitting on the fence. Still not willing to jump in and say, yeah, let's do them. We'll do them. Keep forgetting we got this cultivator for something different. I have to say, the tractor's able to handle it all right. There isn't any issues with it. Oh, back up. Now. What field have we got? 48 and 73. 48 and 73. We'll do 73 first. Why am I putting the worker in it? Don't unfold. Of course it's gonna unfold. Just clicked on the wrong button. Yeah, so we got through everything we wanted to anyway regards our fields. Let's just look at the map for a second. So everything is sown. Let's go to crops. So we have all our fields are sown. That is rye. Canola. Am I right? Yeah, canola. Spelt, because that's gone for the chickens. We have oat in that one, and we barley in that one, and then our two grass fields. So we kind of got through everything we wanted to. Regards our sowing now, we don't have anything else to sow, but we're not. We're trying to get 104,000. We're actually trying to get the money up to 130,000, and then we're going to buy the meadow here beside me. Doesn't have to be done this month, doesn't have to be done next month. And I forgot what field, 73, yeah. I'm trying to remember what field we're heading for. We'll go the road in the middle of it first. The roadway just up here. That should get us up to it. Yeah. As you can hear, my controller's working again. If you're watching the series, you see I had a problem with the L3 button. Wasn't connecting, but I always kind of keep a spare on site, more or less, sitting here beside me, just in case. I've gone through the 3 or 4, 3. This is the third one. Yeah. This is the third one since FS25 came out. So, you do go through them. when you're playing it as much as I do. Nearly 4,500 hours in total, so you're getting say 1,200 hours per controller. This is the third controller, so you're getting 2,500 almost, well, over 2,000 hours per controller. So I suppose that's not too bad. The odd time it's been dropped on the floor. Not throwing yet. I haven't got to the point yet where I want to throw the controller at the screen. That's the feeling I used to experience the odd time in Modern Warfare, Call of Duty, but or Gran Turismo, but never in Farming Simulator, thankfully. A lot less stressful of a game. Anyway, rambling again when I should be finishing up. I got to just work my way through these contracts, and I will catch up with you in episode number 32, which will be the next episode, which will be next weekend. And yeah, thanks a million for joining me. Hope you're following along, you're enjoying it. Let me know, leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed. As I said, comments are very much appreciated. If you followed me through and you got the gist on what I've set for the end goals, I'd appreciate bit of feedback. If you think, yeah, that's perfect, let me know. Anything on the series you don't like, anything I'm doing that's annoying you, you can tell me, I don't mind. Anyway, for now, from the Hamlet, we're done, and all that's left for me to do for now is to say goodbye until the next time, and come back and see what we get up to then. So until then, it's bye bye from me. Bye bye.